eliminate high interest credit card debt in as little as 2 to 4 years. So I've got Jack Brandon on the line with Debt Redemption to tell us a little bit more. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
The first thing I want to ask you about is a little bit more about your company, because it actually specializes in helping people with very high credit card debt and personal loans. So I want to know, what kind of situations are you seeing that people are experiencing when they first come and get in contact with you?
People are struggling to make their high interest payments. Oftentimes they're falling behind or just making the minimum payments, and all of that money is going to high interest. There's no opportunity for them to save for investment or retirement or anything.
Let me ask you, Jack, a little bit about debt redemption and the sort of benefits they have, because one of the huge benefits you mentioned to me is that you guys can offer more than one type of program depending on what a client needs. So it's not a one size fits all answer. Can you tell me a little bit more about the programs you've got?
We can offer programs that reduce the interest rates from the credit card companies. But most of the clients that we speak to, they need a lot more than that. They need a reduction in the principal balance and a much lower payment. In many cases, we can actually help them to pay even less than half of the minimum payment that's required on the program.
It sounds pretty good to me, Jack. Yes, especially when you look at some of those credit cards, and if you were only paying the minimum on those, 20 years plus. So 2 to 4 years is something that I think a lot of people are going to feel a lot more refreshed and relaxed about. So last question for you here. Debt Redemption is a licensed debt management agency, and it's headquartered here in the Lone Star State.
Sure. A lot of companies that are doing business in Texas are not actually licensed to do business in Texas. Most of those companies charge excessive or illegally high fees. So we're here in Texas, and we specialize in working with Texas clients. We utilize consumer protection laws that are available to us here in Texas that most of these other companies wouldn't even think to use. And so we're able to provide a lot more protection and security to our clients and get them out of debt safe and sound. We're the only ones actually that we have found anywhere that offers the advanced hardship program, and it is significantly less even than just making half of the minimum payment.
And Jack, you brought a little literature with you today. You brought us some graphs to help explain the difference between options. Can you explain those to us? Here
in the first graph, you'll see a $50,000 high interest debt monthly cost. If you've got $50,000 worth of debt, making those minimum payments, you're looking at about $2,000 a month. If you go with a traditional credit counseling program, you're looking at just over $1,000 a month, still pretty doggone high. With debt redemption, a payment that should be under $800 a month. Then with a high interest debt payoff time, you're looking at a long time. Making those minimum payments, you're looking at 25 years or so if you're just making the minimums. And then with debt redemption, still probably around 4 years, maybe less. Here on the final graph, you'll see high interest debt, the total payoff cost, which is mind-boggling. With us, amazingly, it's going to be less than the $50,000 that you owe.
Wow, that is impressive. I love seeing stuff like this because it really drives the point home, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.